here, which I'll show you in a minute. That's the existing toilet. That's going to have a revamp to it in the short term, but new public toilets are planned to go into the station building as well. And you can see that the parkland is extended along from there into the railway station, so a couple of key elements in that. The existing Angle Park slipway is being removed. The buses, and that's going to be created into a landscape area that's going to link the rest of the landscaping into the station building. You can see in here, the access into the station building will change. That hasn't been fully designed yet, but it will change to allow better access into that station building as it's developed into a tourism centre, or tourism hub and community hub. The buses that are currently in that slipway will be moved slightly along further to the east, and that's the work that's happening at the moment. So the pads for the new bus shelters are going in, if you will have seen them. Those bus shelters going in at the end of the week.
Yeah.
Wayne temporary bus shelters there at the end of the week. The buses will then shift, and the redevelopment of the areas in and around the railway station are going to start early next week. So, any questions about the landscaping? I know I'm going quite quick.
Yes, I'm just wondering where that green hill is you've got in the background.
Oh,
I've never seen it. I'm wondering whether you're going to cut down the bush and regrass and how long is it going to take?
you probably need a farmer to answer that question. Yeah, no, but I think it's a bit of artistic licence from the landscape architect. So, yeah.
That angle parking out onto a state highway, is that safe?
Yeah,
It is good.
approved by NZTA.
Yeah, sorry, Clive Mann, the Chief Executive. The issue with the angle parking, it doesn't go straight into the traffic.
Oh, yeah.
There is a space where you can reverse in and then, drive out. So you're not having trucks right at the back of you when you're coming out. So it is a standard design in highways.
Is there any parking on the other side of the street?
No change. There's no change to anything on the commercial side of the street at all. And the way that it's been designed is that there's no loss of car parking in the whole development. So while we're taking out, if you can imagine, there's the current slipway parking, which is angle parking, and it's all parallel parking up through here. The way that it's been designed is there's no loss of car parks as part of the development.
But there's also some ideas about having additional parking for as we grow with more visitors and things, but those ideas are still in the planning stage, but we've already thought about where we can go and what we can do do additional parking.
And on top of that, Kiwi Rail have been a leader for us for visitor stuff, along with Auckland Airport in New Zealand, Tourism Ministry at Aotearoa. And they have taken information that's been gathered over the last 3 years for our visitor, and now they gone to government asking for $83 million to start up the daily service scheme, which will stop the development. That we're pretty confident that will go through. And it's not just for us, it's the tourism industry throughout the whole of New Zealand. It's going to grow by another million in the next 6 years. And very definitely they want to get people off-roads onto rail. And I think it's sensible, to be honest, because there's far too many people using our roads now that still want to go to the right. And certainly going home from where I live, it's not unusual to see people coming down the wrong side of the road to you. So, and it's also, they're going to develop freight as well. Very definitely develop freight, and I'm looking at Tolly again becoming a marshalling area and a freight area. So, yeah, I think we're pretty confident that's going to happen. It's been a long time coming. But rail, I think, very definitely is on this government's mind to remove trucks off the road as quickly as possible.
So one of the things that's very much in the back of my mind is that in terms of these developments, and will be successful when one of the measures of that will be when the railway stop, when the trains stop again. So Council's obviously putting a significant amount of money into the redevelopment of the landscaping areas to attract not only visitors but also make it a local friendly space. Putting a lot of money into revitalising the station building in terms of attracting people, making it a destination as opposed to just somewhere that you pass through. So one of the things we're very keen to talk to the building owners about, this is I'm picking, this is 1930s, anyone who can put me right on this? It was just an archive picture I found, but it's got nice steam trains in it. My history is in landscape work, and I looked at those trees and thought some of them will still be there, and I was trying to work out how old the trees were and work back, so I'm going to say 1930s, but anyway. There was obviously a great deal of uniformity in terms of the way that the verandas looked and the way that the streetscape looked back in those days. Everything has shifted now, so we're sort of picking that the current verandas are probably a third iteration of the verandas in the main street. Some of them have reverted back to the old, the 1910 and 11 kind of architectural shapes, but obviously in that photo there's none of them there. So we're picking that the verandas that are there now are sort of a third iteration of what's going on. And one of the things we want to, and I hope this isn't anyone's property in particular, it's just a shot that we took photos of every building at every part of the town on every different angle. So, well, this is just a random one that came out, so hopefully, but it's just to show the variability in the verandas on the main street, and also the fact that a lot of them, and I'll just say this bluntly, a lot of them are in a bit of a state of disrepair. They leak and heavy rains and things like that. What we want to be able to do is to work, we want to be able to work between council and yourselves to be able to see what we can do while we're smartening up and sprucing up that side of the street, to have a look at how we might be able to do things on this side of the street as well. We've got a project that is based on upgrading and revitalising the street. To make that actually work and to make the town more attractive as a destination, we need to make both sides of the street look more attractive, attract both visitors and locals and shoppers, make it a safe place and a comfortable place for people to be. And in particular, this is from me more than anything, in terms of the way we're trying to make things work is to make town a destination. So that's where I come from. The question that we're going to put to the group is, how can council work with building owners to bring forward some of the upgrading work on the verandas? Because at the moment the Act says, and council are obliged to enforce this, pretty much 2027 is when things have to be done or decisions have to be enacted. How can we work with you to bring forward some of those decisions in terms of what we can do with the verandas to start sprucing them up as well? So on that note, can I hand over to Clive? Thanks for listening to me. And if you've got any questions, just catch me later or put it on that sheet of paper.
Look, good evening, everyone. What I wanted to say is, first of all this is about you. We're investing in the town because we want businesses to prosper. We want the people living in it to be proud of where they're living and want to stay. Because one thing that has been happening over the last decade or two is we've been declining. The town has gone backwards compared to what it used to be. And talking to people, that is not the place we want to be. So this council, with your great money, has been saying, right, how can we reverse this trend? We've got tourism, which obviously is helping us on the journey, but our primary industry is just as important. We're still a town that, the people surrounding us that are making a living want to come buy produce, get the services, all the rest of it. So this is not just about a beautification project or tidying up your verandas. It's how can we make us all live in a better place. Again, the key message we got from business owners is, look, council talks about these things, but it doesn't actually do it. And for you to go into your pockets and start to invest, you've got to have some confidence that you're going to get that return in the future. So we you know, the entrance to the town, that's obviously, you know, we've entered it into a beautification award this year. We're really proud of it. The Cherry Grove has, you know, been improved. The walkway has been extended. The reserve has been, you know, there's new play equipment in it. We hope we're giving you, the business community, the confidence that we believe in this town. Government has also said it believes in rural paving. It believes it wants to attract a lot of tourism into New Zealand, and all the work that's been done says that rural paving is actually a gem, you know, an international world gem that a lot more people can come into and enjoy. They, you know, most of them coming from Auckland have to come through Tramoriri. So there is an opportunity for us. It's not all about the mountain, but people going to the mountain, you know, a lot of them will be coming through the town. So the opportunity is for us is to stop them, to help them empty their pockets a bit more, to help them stay, but also for the community that needs to service all these, that's extra garages, extra tradespeople, extra shops, all that, you know, all those things. We want them to believe in the town to do it. But the key thing is at the moment, if you come through the town, if you look to the left, if you're driving from Auckland, you've got trees and it's going to look even more wonderful. If you come on a rainy day, buildings are not always the most attractive to look at or to stand under in the rain. I can understand why you've been holding back from investing on it. There's a lot of sort of maintenance that's not been done, because why would you throw money in if you can't get tenants to, you know, to use the shops? But I think things have changed. Talking to a number of the owners there, you know, this is the best year they've had in a lot of cases. I think there'll be adjustment from who uses shops. I think, you know, the traditional retail with, you know, the advent of internet will, you know, shopping will change things. But people still need spontaneous shopping. They still need the coffee, the meals, all those things that people, you know, you need in a centre. So I think there's opportunities for business owners to make that decision. It's time to now invest in your buildings. The other thing is, again, when I've been talking to some people, some of you may just say, the dollars are just too big. We'd rather walk away. Well, that is another option. We need space, we need car parking. So even whatever option you want to go, I think the message here is how can council help you on that journey, help you on that decision making. We're not just saying the X's do something, here's your notice, you know, go and do it. We'll have to do that bit because that's what we're required to do. But what we're really interested in is, look, this is going to be quite disruptive for, you know, all of us. How can we make that better for you, and also make sure that you get your return that you need, obviously, to be able to invest in it. So we're very much in making sure we can answer your questions on why we're in this situation. Get from you what are the sorts of things that are preventing you from upgrading the buildings, whether it's just maintenance, veranda work that we're talking about, or strengthening, and is the things that we can do to help in that process. I mean, simple things like veranda, we can do a whole lot of projects together, and, you know, we can consenting we can do together, we can help with design. There's lots of little things we can do that make a big difference, but there may be other ideas that you've got that we can do with you that will make it easier for you. So look, really just to throw it open to, first of all, any clarification of the issues, but what we're really interested in is what is preventing you from investing in your buildings, and let's see if there's a discussion around that, how that we can make it a bit easier to do it. Because I don't think anyone would disagree. We want the town to be lifted. That's going to help us all. That's going to bring, you know, more money into everything, the investment decision we make. But it's got to be the right choice for you. We want to know how we can help you in there. So, who wants to fight forth? Yeah, sorry.
Right, so we've got some alterations that we want to do, but they're on hold because we don't have a plan for what the front of the building needs to look like.
Right.
There's no clarification from council. I asked a couple of years ago what the plans were for the future and what the veranda should look like, and that's what I need before I go ahead.
Yeah, right. There's two ways of approaching this. We could say, these are your standard designs, we want you to conform, and as you say, we could make them all the same. Or we can say, no, we will test each of your design because we obviously want to make sure it's not going to fall on people, you know, in an earthquake. So how much freedom do you want? If you've got total freedom, you bear total cost. If we have some, not uniformity, but if we do things together, we may be able to share design costs, even share construction costs. If we get a contract to do a number of verandas, it's obviously going to be cheaper than doing individual ones. So I'd be interested in the challenges. When are we going to tell you what you must do? What is the appetite? Do you want to do what you want to do, or do you think there's a benefit in us having some, working together on what we come up with?
I like the idea of working together, but one of the things is how far back from the curb do you want the uprights? I mean,
Yep.
currently they all sit at the curb and they get hit by trucks. So, you know,
And the other thing is, at the moment, our resource consents require them to have no poles, literally, to be cantilever. That is actually very difficult to design. I would say there's probably hardly a veranda, if any, in the street that, if you really did an earthquake assessment on it, would withstand the earthquakes. So it may well be we do want poles just to make it cheaper to put the verandas up. But again, it's your ability